So you're thinking of moving to Brantford. Today in this video, I'm going to discuss the cost of living and ways you can save. If you stick around to the end, you'll definitely acquire some new strategies that will help you save while living in this city and understand the cost here in Brantford. If this is your first time to my channel, please like and subscribe for more useful information of everything there is to know about Brantford and the surrounding area. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, please call, text, or email me, and I'm happy to help you make that move. Stick around to the end, and you'll be sure to learn great, useful information. Obviously, anywhere you live is going to have some costs to it. And the main thing, you might be commuting for work. So gas, it's usually a little bit cheaper here than Toronto and major cities. And one advantage that we have is that we're close to the reserve. So you can take advantage of the reserve gas prices that are about 10 cents cheaper a liter, which is nice. And then, we're getting a Costco, so you can save there on your gas. But it is what it is. So you've got your gas prices, and it's going to cost you, for me, it costs about $60 to fill my tank. So depending on how much you commute, you might want to consider carpooling, but you're definitely saving on your housing costs. So currently houses are selling for like a single detached home is selling for $713,000. So still a lot less than a lot of other major cities in Ontario. So that's good. Average days on market is about 29 days. In about a month, you can probably sell your home for a good deal, which is nice. You also want to remember, though, with the rising costs, try and keep your household expenses or your living costs no more than 30% of your income. This is what they've always said historically, and I feel like they need to raise that percentage just because housing costs are so expensive. But if you want to stay in budget, they do recommend spending 30% of your earnings on living costs. So that includes your mortgage, and your property tax. And by the way, I should mention, Toronto is known to be about 43% more than Brantford. So you're picking a great spot if you're looking for affordability. And if you're thinking of renting or leasing a place here, and then average townhome or small home is about $2,400-$2,500 a month. And then an average house, a full detached home, is about $28,000 to $3,000 a month, and that's for a larger home. So that'll give you a rough idea currently of the expenses. And then obviously you want to stay comfortable in that climate. So for your utilities, which include typically your heat, hydro, water, usually you have to pay for your water heater. Often it's a rental, but a lot of people are switching and just buying them outright so they don't have to worry about the monthly bill. It is nice to have someone else worry about the repair and maintenance though. So although it's probably a little bit more to rent, it's nice when anything does go wrong, you just call your local water heater company and they will come and do the repairs. So for your hydro, it's reported that the average cost of hydro is $137 a month. Obviously, if you work from home, that might be a little bit more depending on how much you use in your house. And if you're not home as much, it will be less. So simple tips: turn the lights on, off, not on, when you're not using them. Unplug anything that's not in use. And those are, simple everyday tips. Older appliances do tend to use more hydro. I know after 7 o'clock, hydro prices drop down. There's different tiers throughout the day of when house prices are more or hydro costs are more. So if you want to do your laundry after 7 or on the weekend, that's going to save you a bit of money. And what else? Your gas bill to heat your house. It's reported again $63 a month. My house, we must keep it hotter because it's typically more in the winter, but I guess, probably if you round that out over the year, I can see why they would say 63 on average. So yeah, that makes sense. And then again, to save on those costs, you could just wear an extra layer, an extra sweater in the winter. have a space heater so that the space that you're actually in, you can heat up your space a bit more, and then you can keep the general house cooler. And then the other expense is your water. So in Brantford, it is billed bi-monthly, so every other month you get a bill, and the average reported cost is $45 per month. Again, that's dependent on how many people are in your household, how much laundry you do, how many showers or baths you take, especially if you take baths and you fill up a big tub for however many people are in your household. And then in the summer, if you water your grass more often, they do have restrictions, especially if we're in the middle of a drought, where they like you to water your grass every other day. And then based on your house number, so even house numbers, you water on the even days and odd on the odd days. So that's the way that the city kind of encourages you to save water. So, I mean, cut back if you want to save costs and use more if you want to spend more. That's, I mean, common sense there. The other thing, what else? Food, I mean, that's dependent on how much you eat as well. So there's lots of different grocery stores to choose from. There's No Frills and Food Basics, which are your lower price point, and then there's your higher price point grocery stores. So you just try and be cost effective with your food. Obviously, the more you eat at home, the less you're going to spend. And if you eat more takeout, the more you're going to spend. And that's up to you how much you want to spend on your food. There is the Flip app that I use if you want to save on your food costs. And then I eat a lot of fruit, so you can cut back that way and price match your fruit, because you can save a few dollars for different berries. But yeah. And what else? Another expense you might have when you eat all that food and you want to stay lean and mean in a trim machine, you might want to go to the gym. So gym memberships, I was going to Mavati here, and I actually got a really good rate of $42 a month. There's Crunch Fitness, I believe they started about $25 a month. There's all different gyms here that offer a variety of pricing. So depending on what you're looking for in a gym, you can probably find one for as low as about $20, and then it goes up from there depending on the specialty and if you're doing personal training or those sorts of things. So if that's important to you, that's going to be a cost to you. And then, the big one, your property taxes. That's an expense you just have to pay it. You can't cut back or not go or whatever. So property tax is currently 1.35% of the assessed value by MPAC. So it's not what you actually sell or buy your house for, it's the assessed value, because it's just the house and not the land. So for example, on a $400,000 home, it would be $5,539. So that's your annual cost. And then you also have car insurance. So in Brantford, it is typically about $100 a month or $1,250 a year. I know that when my daughter went to school in Belleville, it was cheaper for her insurance there. So, I mean, smaller cities get cheaper insurance rates, and there's different factors involved in that. So that's what you can plan to spend. And what else? And then your home insurance, that varies as well depending on what you insure. And again, they roughly guesstimate that in Brantford, you should expect to spend about $1,250 a year as well. So about $100 a month on your home insurance. And again, that varies. It can be as low as, they said, as low as about $700 to as high, I mean, $2,000 a year it can go up to. And I'm sure it can be more or less depending on what you insure. But you definitely want to have house insurance just in case, like by that off chance, I don't even want to jinx anything, but something happens. And usually your mortgage is going to require you to get insurance in order to get the mortgage in the first place. So I don't know why you wouldn't have insurance. That reminds me, I do like to invest, and I do highly recommend getting stocks and insurance, because they take all of your money and they never really give it back. So they hold all the money. So if you're looking for somewhere to invest, a little side note, insurance companies, they do well typically. What else? For transportation, so the city bus here in Brantford costs you $3 for an adult ride. And then there's a daily pass and a monthly pass. So a 31-day pass is going to cost you $73.50. So that'll get you as many rides as you want in a month. So if you want to ride the bus and spend $73, you can do that. The other thing is, in Brantford, a lot of the communities where your house is going to be, you're probably going to have to drive. So it is more convenient to have your own car if you're able to, unless you live in a more, I guess there's some walkable communities, but it's not like a big city where you have all of your amenities right at your doorstep. So you're probably most likely going to need a car for most of your day-to-day errands. So that's another expense you'll have. And then I guess entertainment. I mean, that can be as much or as little as you want it to be. So here in Brantford, currently the average cost for a movie ticket is $11.25. And then, I mean, the popcorn and all the food you buy, that's going to make it $100 date night or whatever you're doing. So what else? I should also mention parking. So parking isn't really an issue in Brantford, like versus Toronto, you're spending 20, 30, 40, whatever dollars. Oh, I heard Canada's Wonderland. I haven't been there in a while. You have to spend money on parking there. That's crazy. But anyways, Brantford parking, there's not really anywhere that you would have to pay for parking. I guess if you had to go to the hospital, it's $13 a day. There is street parking in and around if you're able to walk, but I mean, usually if you're going to the hospital, it's probably an emergency. So other than that, most parking in Brantford is free. You just have to watch the signs. There is some streets, like the street I live on, you can only, well, there's no restrictions, but well, you only park on the one side. And then there is some streets where you can park one half on one side, like one half of the month on one side and one half of the month on the other side. So basically you're parking for free. You just have to watch the signs so you avoid a parking ticket, because then that's going to cost you money. But all in all, you don't have to worry about paying for parking in Brantford when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the mall, restaurants, wherever you're going. There's going to be either parking provided by the vendor or street parking or parking lot right there. So thank you for watching my video on ways to save in Brantford and the costs associated with living here in this city of Brantford. If you have any questions, please call, text, or email me anytime, and I'm happy to help. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, text, or email, and I'd love to help you make that move. Until next time, I'll see you around. Bye for now.